class. Creating a main method. Yes. Okay. So main method is the entry point for any Java application. So in any public class, okay, the class has to be public. This class keyword is there. This is a keyword. Okay. So in Java, we have 52 keywords. Okay. So you can get it from any website. If you just need to search for Java reserved keyword. You don't even need to remember them. As soon as you work, right, you will keep them in mind. Like once you will get used to them. So these are all the keywords which Java has. So they are in total 52. Okay, 5 into 52. And these three, okay, true, false, and null. So these are not keywords, but they are reserved. Okay, and they are literals. Literals is nothing but a normal uh, anything which you have written in English, right, which is a string. So that we call it as a literal. At any point, if you have any difficulty, right, like because of my health, I'm not able to speak that louder. But at any point, if you feel any doubt, just um, ask there itself. Okay. So these three are not keywords. These are literals. Okay. But they are reserved in Java. So similar to these 52 words, right? These are the English words only, but they are reserved in Java. So you cannot use while you're writing the code for your purpose. Okay. Like you can use in the way Java has defined them to use, that you can do, but you cannot use them in your cases. So let's say you cannot name a class with this name transient. Okay. It has to be a word, similar word only. Okay. So that is something. Now this is our class name. So as I mentioned you earlier also, for naming the class, it is a naming convention. For each word, your first letter has to be capital. This is one word. So let's say if I make this F as small, right, it will start complaining. As of now, it is telling me to rename the file because it has the main method. So now if you see, I have renamed the file also to the same class file name. Now if you see, it is giving me some error. Type rename to this typo in word my first. So what it is telling, it is asking me to rename this. Okay, so anything can be accurate, we have to rename it. Okay, so I'm reverting back my changes. Now this is a class, how you can declare it. Okay, and this class can be either public or private, default, like that class you can define. Okay, now second thing is these are the curly brackets. So the curly brackets for any class, any methods, right, they define the scope of that particular uh, thing. Okay, let's say you're defining these brackets for the class. So they are defining the scope of this class. So this class is having this much scope. So whatever you write within these lines, right, it will be treated as you are writing in this class. Okay. So that is one thing. Now, second thing is, so in the classes also, so whatever code you will write, right, you cannot write directly at the class layer. Okay, so you cannot write anything here. You can only declare the variables or the objects in at the class level. Okay, the main code you have to write inside a method. So you can create your own method, okay, or you can use the existing methods, but you cannot directly write at the class layer. Okay, now second thing is, so this main method is a special type of method which is an entry point for any Java application. So let's say you have multiple classes, right? So wherever you write this main method, that will be executed. And you have multiple main methods in different classes, then you need to define which class you want to execute. Okay, so this is the syntax of the main method. Public, that why? Because JVM should be able to access it. That's why we are making it public. Okay, and wherever you have this main method, right, that class also has to be public only. You cannot use any other keyword like default or private or protected. Okay, wherever you are defining a main method, it has to be public, the class, and this method also has to be public. This is the syntax. Okay, and this static keyword is there. So why we are using static? So we have two kinds of thing, static and non-static. So whenever we want to access anything with the name of the class, okay, so if you want to access anything with the name of this class, you should use the static keyword. I'll come to this static part further. Okay, then you have this keyword void. Okay, now this is a return type of this method. Return type in the sense, like when you execute this method, right, when you run this method, what it will going to return to you. Okay, void means it will not return anything. Okay, or else you can type some int. Okay, or you can type some string, anything you can type, which it will return. But this is a syntax for the main method, so it has to be void. When we are going to create our own methods, right, that time we can define our own return type. We can choose any return type. Okay, now this is a main method. So method name, as I also told you, there also a naming convention. So for method naming convention, your method for each word, for the very first word, right, in that particular, so let's say uh, name it like this, my main. So in this case, what is happening is, so very first word of that name, this complete name, right, it the first letter has to be small, and the remaining each word has to have the first letter as capital. So this M is capital, and the second M is also capital, third M actually. Okay, so far it is clear. Any doubt in this? Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, no doubt. No doubt.
Okay. So now the second thing which is very important, that is whenever you are executing any method, right, so it takes some parameter. It can take or it cannot take. Okay, parameter in the sense input to that method. Like you should give something, right, to process it. So that we call it as the input or the input parameters. Okay, so these are the parameters, and this is a parameter name. It is local to this main method. Even in this main method declaration also, this name you can give anything. Even I can give my name also, it will take, no issues. Okay, and second thing is, it is of type string. Okay, I told you, right, multiple data types we discussed. So it is of type string and it is an array. Okay, so when you want to define an array, right, you define it like this. So this square bracket should be on the right side of the data type. Okay, it's not mandatory, even you can write it like this also, it will work. It is same thing. Okay, I just need to remove this one. Okay, it is same thing, but generally the convention is, see, if you see this, when I moved it to right side, right, so this is a Java style array declaration. Okay, so your array should be declared like this only. So it's the styling part, but it's not mandatory that you should always write this square brackets on the right side of the data type. You can even write on the right hand side of this variable name also, or you can write it here also. Okay, it will work, no issues, on the left side of the variable. So for variable you can write left, right, and on the string like data type you need to write on the right hand side, you cannot write on the left hand side. But the best way to for it to be on the right hand side of the string, the data type. So this is a main method. Now when you run this class, right, so this is currently a .java file. Okay. When it will compile, it will convert it to the .class file. So as of now, it is automatically compiling for us. So whether it is visible here or not. Yeah, visible here. So if you see, you have a .java file. But if I open a command prompt here, Java version is able to read, right, my Java version. So that means that Java is properly installed. Now, if I compile it, right, so if you see this, like when I do the compile, so we can do the compile using Java C and Java file name, my first class dot Java. So Java C stands for Java compiler. Okay, Java is not recognized directly. I need to locate. Java C is here. If you see this, now it is compiled. It was not able to find that path. And if you see, now it is converted to dot class file. I did the I did the compilation. Let me delete this file. Now let me recompile. Okay. So this is Java C. I'm just giving that path so that it is accessible directly from here, and my Java file name with along with .java. Okay. So if you see, as soon as I compile it, it is generated the .class file. Now let me write something in the code so that we can see. Okay. Just writing it first. Okay. So I've written in my test program. So just keep an eye on this. I'm going to compile again. Now I'm going to run that file. Now Java command it is able to find, right? Java is also exe file. Okay. Then Java, and you just need to mention your class name. Okay. Like file name. Dot class is not required. Okay. Like we compiled it with a different Java. So that is why it is complaining. I just need to use Java instead of Java C from the same path. Okay. It should work. I'm running it from here. Okay, but I'm doing it in the wrong place. Maybe that's why. I'll copy this. And just linking it with some other package and all. Let me create a fresh project. Okay. So same thing, we can do it from here also. Actually, that was existing project. That's why that is creating the problem. Now this JavaC command, okay, to compile our file, dot class is created. Now I'll just run it. See, now I'm getting the output. Actually, that existing project was creating a problem. I was trying to utilize that. Okay, so that's how you can compile and run it from your command prompt. Okay. We are not going to use this one, but just telling you for your reference. One second. Yeah. So far is this clear, right? And if you see this error, and not error, it is a warning. Okay. So what it is telling to move this file to a named package. So as of now, if you see, I've created directly inside a SRC folder. So it is always recommended to always have your code inside one particular package, like some parent package that you should create. I'm going to move it. Now, what is refactor? Okay. So if you see, I'm doing a move from this class to this class. So wherever it is being referenced or any file path will also change, right? Earlier it was under SRC. Now it will move under this learning package, which is under SRC. So that refactoring it will do automatically. Okay. So if you see now, see the package is also in this. It is inside the learning package. So that is one thing. Now, second thing is when you're writing this class, right? So this is a dot class file, compiled file of this project of this class. Okay, this is a Java file that we have written, and this is a dot class file. It is decompiled now. Okay, so this is how it is looking. So if you see, this is we didn't create it. Okay, it is coming extra. So what is this? This is a constructor. Okay, so constructor, like if you see this one, like it has the exact same name as that of the class. No naming convention change. Like this letter is also capital. This very first letter, and it does not have any data tag. It has only public here, and this curly brackets, and it is empty. So it is a constructor, and it is a default constructor. Okay, non-parameterized default constructor. So by default, if you don't write any constructor, right, Java will by default create this constructor so that it can create the object of this class. So with the help of constructor, we create the object of a particular class. Okay. Any doubts so far? We are getting into more complexity now. So that's why I'm asking. If you have any doubts, just ask me. Hello.
Yeah, understanding so far.
Okay. So now let me create one constructor. So since it is a main, like this class has a main method, right? So it should have a default constructor only. Like if you want, you can create more constructors, but at least it should have one default constructor. Default in the sense, the one which is does not have any parameters. So when we were discussing method, right, I mentioned, right, this is the parameter. So it should not have any parameter, the constructor. So if I write from my side, if you see, I have written this line. Now if I run method, Yes. Okay, we have not created the project for this. Okay. Object we didn't create it, that's why it's not pending. Okay. So if you see this one, like I have written the constructor, but it is not printing anything. Let me create one more class. So let me create the constructor. Okay. And if I create the object, that class, see, I just created the object, and if I run it, right, you see it is printing this my first program and also the my second class constructor. We just created the object, even though it is printing that. And if you write, let's say one more constructor, so it has to be different from the argument side. Okay, let me pass string test. Okay. Then now I have to call this constructor. So now this is another important thing to call any class constructor, right? So you can call only one constructor. Okay. So this, it is a method. Okay. It is a result keyword, and with the help of brackets, you can call the same class constructor. But note one thing: you can only call like this line only once. Okay, and it has to be the very first line of the class. Oh, sorry, of the constructor. Okay. Now let me rerun this. So if you see, now this my first program is printed because we are printing it first. Then we are creating the object. this object is going here into this constructor. This constructor is calling in the very first line this constructor, this one, which is sending one argument. Okay, and we are printing this. This is printed. Okay, then this will be printed. It is clear. Is it clear so far? Any doubts? Hello. Please respond so that it will be more clear to me.
Yes.
Yeah, just give me a minute. I'll be back. Yeah, I'm back. So far, this one is clear, right? Now, instead of uh, creating this object, let me remove this. Okay, I've removed this. Now, if I run this, you see, I'm getting only my first program. Now, let me inherit that class. So, one class inherit the other class using the extends keyword. Okay. Now, I just written this line. I'm just extending it. Now let me rerun this program. Okay. So if you see, like I still, I'm not getting this. Okay. So let me create it like this so that will be more easy for you. Instead of extending this one, right? I'm creating this empty class. I'm not writing anything. Okay. And I'm creating the object of that class. I'm extending the second class to the middle class. Okay. Now if you see that, let me run this. So if you see now the second class constructors are getting called. How it is working? Because this middle class, right? It has one constructor. So if I open the dot class file, this is a constructor. And by default, the very
Oh,
first line of
so
yeah,
basically, I'm just trying to understand. So basically, now middle class has everything that my second class has, and you call that in the main method. Now you have everything from both classes, right?
yes. So not exactly because it is a constructor. Okay, I'm not defined any methods. These are the constructors. Okay, and in the middle class also, there is only one default constructor, okay, which is visible here, but we have not written it. But by default, Java has given it. So what is happening in the background? Okay, so this middle class constructor. So for any constructor, okay, we can have either super or we can have this line as the very first line of the constructor. By default, this is there, the super. Okay. So if you're not extending any class, right, it will call the object class. So by default, parent class of any class is an object class. So we have a class called object. Defined in this java.lang. Okay. So if you're not extending any class, right, by default, Java extend this. Okay. I'm removing it. It will not create any difference. Okay. So now we back to this. If you see, we have defined this middle class, and the very first line of the constructor can be super or this. By default, if you don't write the constructor right, then this is the very first line of the constructor. So you cannot write super and then in the next line this. Okay, either this or super. Okay, anyone in the very first line. So if you see, it is giving error. All to this must be the first statement in the constructor body. Okay, so either this or super. So it is calling what super means is, so we saw what this is doing, right? this is calling the same class constructor. Now what super is doing, super is calling the parent class constructor. So if you are, as we are not passing any argument, right? So it is by default calling this default constructor without any arguments. And then this one is calling this constructor. Okay. Now let me run this once again because this was not there earlier. We have written it, but in the background it is like this only. So if you see, still the output is same. Now let me do one thing. I'm calling the another superclass constructor. Okay. Now we are calling this constructor directly, this one. Okay. This constructor we are not calling anymore. So you should not see this line. Okay, this line should not come. Let me run this. See, that line is not coming, and whatever we have given from this middle class, right, that is coming. So by default, it is there, the super is there without any arguments. So it is calling the default constructor. Is it clear so far? So you were asking some doubt. Is that clear or you still have a doubt? Hello?
Yeah, it's better than before. It's clear now.
Okay.
So like,
So
can
as
you
you,
go to this? Yeah, go ahead.
where?
The second class.
Okay.
Okay, why is the my second class constructor not working? Can you explain that one more time, please? So, I mean, why is it not printing? Like, why is that not coming when you execute it?
Because from this middle class, right, we have called directly the another constructor. By default, it is calling a default constructor without any arguments. This was the default constructor, and this was a
Oh, okay.
parameter constructor. Okay, so we given one parameter right here from middle class, so that we given last time. So it directly call that constructor. This constructor was capped. No, like we didn't call that constructor.
Oh, okay, got it.
Okay, and if you're not passing this one, then it is by default calling this default one. Default one is this one, which is internally calling this another constructor. But this constructor is not calling this default constructor. Got it? So now, as you can see, right, let me remove this. Or let me comment out, or let me remove it. So as you can see, even after writing just this thing, right, we are extending this second class. It is directly calling this constructor. Now let me create a third class. Let me create a constructor here. I've created this class, I've created this constructor. Let me run this program. Okay, nothing will change. Okay, so whatever the original output, we are getting that. The third class didn't came in the picture. So now, instead of second class, let me extend the third class. And let me run this again. So if you see, the second class is not coming, only third class is coming. Now, what if I want both of them? So then I can write something like this, right? I want to extend both of them, but now the problem happens. What is the problem? See, both the class have a default constructor. So if I write this middle class constructor, right, again, you have this super as the default line, right? You have this line. Now this super is will call which class constructor, third class or second class. You cannot define that. Even Java can't also understand. So that is the ambiguity. Okay. So this is what happens when you are dealing with the abstract classes, right? So abstract class is also a class only which have a constructor. Okay. So the same problem comes when you are dealing with the abstract class. So this ambiguity comes in picture. That's why if we are doing an extend keyword from one class to the other, only one class is allowed. Okay. Either you can extend this third class or the second class. You cannot extend both the classes or more than one class. To overcome that, we have something called interfaces in Java. Okay. So first tell me this ambiguity concept is clear or not? Like this is the ambiguity. Is that clear or not?
Yes, it's clear now.
Okay. So let me keep this. So now that is gone, right? We can extend only one class. So far, if you see, this variable is clear. The variable we didn't declare. Okay, let me declare some variables also. So this is the object. Okay, the variables we call it like, let's see, uh, this is a variable. If I run this program again, right, we should see 5 in the output. So if you see my first where and the value is coming as 5. So now what is this? First of all, you need to understand this system.out.println. Okay, so this is a console. Okay, this side is a Java console. Okay, so first you need to understand the system dot output mental. Okay, so this is a Java console. So whatever you want to print on that console, right, for to understand what is happening inside the code, when you are running your code, you can't in between stop it directly. Okay, so to stop that also we have some other thing that we will see later. Okay, but to understand your code, let's say you have a big piece of code. So if you want to understand in better way, we write this system.out.println. Okay, so these are basically some print statement to understand like till when your code is completed, like till when the execution of your code is completed. Or maybe if you want to see some data, let's say we printed this variable, right? So if it is dynamically created somehow and you want to see what is the output coming out there, so those things we can do. So what is this system.out.println exactly? So if I go to this, system is a class. Okay, this is a predefined class given by Java. And if you see this one, this out is, so if you see this one, this out is a variable defined here, which is a static variable. Okay, that's why we are able to use it directly, system.out. Okay, with the help of class name, we are able to use. Okay, and from where this println is coming. So if you see, go to this class, right? I go to this print stream class. If you see, we have this println method, and similarly we have multiple more methods which is taking different arguments. So that's how we are able to call this. So this is a static object, and from that object, as that is of this print stream class, right, we are calling that println method, and we are passing the value whatever we want to print. Okay, so is this clear? The system.out.println. Hello.
That part is clear.
Now that interfaces we first need to see. Okay. So can we continue this tomorrow? I'll start from the.
Yes, we can. Continue this tomorrow. Do you have the recording for the last class? I wasn't there when you talked about the abstract class, the public,
Okay.
and
Yeah, Rashmi should have. I don't have, but Rashmi should have.
okay.
Rashmi, can you share a last class recording with them?
Yes, sure. Yes, sure. I'll share.
Not the last class, the class the second class we had.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Indra, I'll
Okay.
share all sessions classes, all sessions recording.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Continue this from the interfaces, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you all.